For 3 years, London has hosted Europe's most prestigious poker tournament. And for 3 years, London locals have fallen short of the main event bracelet. That may change this year. In a city filled with history, the final 15 feature 3 hometown hopefuls. The legendary Barney Boatman, the journeyman James Board, and the charismatic Roland DeWolf. As the clock ticks down to the final table, London's dreams rest with these 3. Will the crown jewel of poker stay at home? The answer unravels next.
Helmuth wins the championship.
Welcome back to London, England for continuing coverage of Day 4 of the World Series of Poker Europe main event. Hi, everyone. Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Natalie Pinkham. From a starting field of 346 players, just 15 remain. Missing in action, Phil Ivey, who busted in 19th place. Still in, some big names, but also some new faces, including chip leader Ronald Lee.
He's a kid with a dream.
And the youngest founder ever of a publicly traded company, Dan Fleischman.
He's a CEO with a dream.
And as we mentioned, some local hometown heroes.
The British Empire has been fading, Lon. These fellas trying to restore its glory.
Roland DeWolf looking for a second World Series bracelet right here in his backyard, but right now he's on the bottom half of the chip count. Ronald Lee leads the field, but Brit James Board close behind. American Danny Steinberg playing well. Definitely someone to look out for.
346 entrants this year, a 10,000-pound entry here, and very few pretenders.
The blinds right now at 6 and 12,000 with a 2,000 chip ante. This is a 7-handed table with only 15 players remaining. Steinberg with pocket 8s. Steinberg
says his greatest achievement in life was finishing Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. That's about a 1,200-page novel, and there's no poker in it.
He's a self-proclaimed crazily aggressive player, and he does raise it up to 27,000.
I had trouble getting through the Cat in the Hat.
Brian Powell from Kentucky lays it down. Now over to Nicholas Levi, Frenchman now living in London with pocket deuces.
That's a nice hat if we were in Casablanca.
Levi makes the call from the button for 27,000. Lee folds his small blind. Andrew Pantling, a pretty successful Canadian pro, lays down his big blind, so heads up to the flop.
Now we've got one guy who read the unreadable book and the other guy who wears the unwearable hat.
8s against deuces. Levi looking for help. Here's the flop. It's Trey 6-5, all clubs, each with a flush draw. Steinberg still a big favorite despite Levi's straight flush draw.
Well, I believe in Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand advocates rational selfishness, Lon. In other words, Steinberg's supposed to bet here.
Steinberg likes to bet. We have seen that. He does bet 30,000.
Now, if I were Levi, I would have tossed my hat into the air and shouted, "I have a straight flush draw," but I guess that would be a tell.
He makes the call for 30,000. Who's going to fold a straight flush draw? All right, so here we go to the turn. It is an ace of spades. Steinberg's pocket 8s are still best.
If this were Atlas Shrugged, Lon, the ace of spades here on the turn would represent the government. The government is always trying to stop you from achieving. It hurts productivity. Steinberg, Lon, has to fight the government here and continue betting to achieve maximum value.
Oh, I am sorry he ever read Atlas Shrugged.
Well, I only read about 1/3 of it.
Steinberg with the best of it with the pocket 8s. Finally bets at 60,000.
Levi loves fedoras. He's got about 15 of them. Right here, him and his hat are not really getting the right price to chase the draws. Levi should muck it.
Levi takes your advice and does muck it. That's surprising.
Yeah, I'm not even that well-read or well-educated.
Steinberg played the 8s well, keeping the heat on Levi even when that ace turned, and he takes the pot. All right, let's go upstairs to the only other table left in this tournament. Another French native living in London, Arnaud Materne on the left, shoved for his last 106,000 with pocket 6s. Clint Coffey made the call with King Jack to put Materne at risk. So Coffey trying to get us one closer to our final table. Here's the flop. Jack, Trey 5. That helps. Coffey with a pair of jacks to take the lead.
Remember, Materne was down to 13,000 chips and thought he had been knocked out.
Turn card is a 6. And Matern with a set. He's got life once again as Coffey's drawing dead. Matern doubles up to 242,000.
Don't shake your head too much, son. You'll be doing it for the rest of your life.
Back to our featured table now.
I'll be back. I wish I could play poker with you guys. I hate playing the short stack.
Everyone's still hanging in there. Lon is a man. Annette Oberstadt won the inaugural main event here in 2007, but since then, only one woman has cashed in the event, Liz Liu in 09.
Folded to Fleischman. He lays it down. Now to Danny Steinberg, a pro from Iowa. King 9 off.
In the cutoff, no reason to play this, but he likes to be active.
27,000 is the raise.
And when he's in a pot, the shades go on.
Brian Powell with ace-king.
He looks like Jim Morrison from The Doors, but he actually prefers to listen to African music to relax him when he plays poker.
And with the raise in front of him, with ace-king, Powell just makes the call from the button. And that is French poker pro Mark Enizan going all in for 253,000. So back to Steinberg now. Steinberg folds his king 9, and a call from Powell with his ace-king, and Enizan will be in trouble.
Enizan down to about 20 big blinds when he pushes. Enizan part of a poker team with 5 of his friends called Weakners, sort of a French Hendon mob.
So Enizan needs to improve on his ace-jack to stay alive, and that's an improvement. Jack, Jack, deuce.
The Weakners fellas, Lon, blogged their results. This hand should get in there pretty quickly.
I would think so. It's not over yet, though. Now it's over as Powell is drawing dead. Enizan doubles up to 559,000.
Well, what are you going to do?
Enizan much healthier.
And that's poker.
It is indeed, and Brian Powell takes it well. We still have 15 players left.
The 2010 World Series of Poker Europe is brought to you in part by WSOPAcademy.com. Learn online from the champs in an interactive poker school. And PokerStars.net, the world's largest poker site.
Welcome back to Leicester Square in the heart of London and the site of the World Series of Poker Europe. The main event is not the only tournament, of course, played here at the Casino at the Empire. There were 4 preliminary events, including the 10,000-pound high roller heads-up tournament. Every big name in the game took part, and the final featured well-known pro Gus Hansen and NYU student Jim Callipy. When this best-of-3 final was complete, Hansen could finally take his name off the best player never to win a bracelet list. This was indeed a great win for the Great Dane. Let's take a look at the FullTiltPoker.net tournament recap. Another well-known pro removed his name from that list. Phil Locke won event number 1 for 170,000 pounds, and Jeff Lissandro won his 5th World Series bracelet in the Pot Limit Omaha event.
And with 5 bracelets, Lissandro is in good company. Stu Unger, Scotty Wynn, Chris Ferguson, Alan Cunningham, Ted Forst, Barry Johnson, and Gary Berland all have 5.
15 players still left. Chip averaged just under 700,000. Canadian Andrew Pantling with ace-deuce in first position.
The only Canadian left in the field, the only married guy left in the field.
He folds to Dan Fleischman with ace-4 of hearts, and he'll play a raise to 30,000. Folded to Brian Powell, king, queen of hearts.
Powell, good friends with Tom Dwan, Phil Galfond, and Peter Jedden. That's pretty good company.
That is indeed. And now he's double thinking whether he wants to enter the pot. He does make the call. Now Enizan with pocket deuces.
Come on in. Deuces never loses.
He just doubled up, and he gets right back in the fray with a call. So small blind and big blind fold. 3 players will see the flop. So it's a pretty even battle right now. Here is the flop. 4, queen, 4. Well, Fleischman chose the right weak ace to play, flopping trips. Fleischman bets it 55,000.
And it looks like a good flop for Powell. Fleischman could just be making a continuation bet, or he could be on a club draw.
Powell with queens up. Makes the call for 55,000. No improvement to Enizan, so he gets out of the way. Heads up to the turn. Fleischman way ahead with the trip 4s. Turn card. 5 of spades. Fleischman's trip still good.
I don't know if Fleischman is intentionally trying to look uncomfortable, but he does look uncomfortable.
And Fleischman is going to make it 100,000 now on the turn.
Powell left in the same position, queens up, and trying to figure out if Fleischman's still just on a draw.
Powell wondering if Fleischman would bet trips. Does he have kings or aces? Powell with the queen. And, of course, the 4's on board, and I guess that's enough. He'll make the call. Fleischman still looks uncomfortable. River card now is an ace, and Fleischman improves to a full boat.
I'm not sure if Fleischman is about to declare all in or if he's about to vomit.
He has been under the weather lately here in London.
What are you just calling with?
I think Fleischman is trying to appear uneasy and look weak. I'm probably the only guy who would fall for this acting job.
Powell watching the same thing you are at home and trying to figure out Fleischman. And now Fleischman has chips. Only 110,000 there on the river.
Yeah, small value bet trying to extract 110,000 more out of Powell. Powell getting 5-1 on a call here.
Powell's only got about 300,000 behind.
You'll never guess what I have.
2-3.
No.
Ace is full.
Nope.
Don't know why Fleischman's talking, but he's being honest.
I'm just hoping I missed those clubs.
That's part of it. I was very sad when the ace got there.
What's that?
I was very sad when the ace came.
Yeah. Thought maybe he had 2 kings or 2 aces. I will be surprised then if you don't have any.
You're
of
gonna be
these
shocked
hands.
and appalled.
Fleischman working hard for these 110,000 chips.
You got king queen, right?
Nice read.
Yeah. You got a random 4?
Nope.
No.
It was a random 4. Now it's 4 is full.
Tough spot for Brian Powell.
Wow, you were right. He really will never guess
He will
what
never
you
guess.
had, will he?
I just we figured he had king queen. What else is he calling with a flush draw or king queen? Not gonna call 100K on the turn with a flush draw, I don't think. He might shift though.
This would be for a third of his remaining stack, but it's such a small bet. How do you not call it?
The pot's too big for me, Dan.
Powell makes the call and sees Fleischman's boat. Powell takes the hit,
That's him.
and Fleischman takes the chip lead.
I'm glad hearts didn't come, I guess.
Yeah, if a heart flush came, Powell likely loses all his chips there.
Nice hand.
And with the help of Powell's chips, Fleischman now up to almost 1.8 million and the chip lead after starting day 4 with just over 300,000.
Easy game.
All right, let's get back to the other table. In the cutoff seat, Hoyt Corkins raised to 35,000 with ace-queen. Fabrizio Baldassari made it 102,000 with pocket kings on the button. The blinds folded, so it's back to the 2-time World Series bracelet winner.
Corkins, the oldest player left at 56. He and Roland DeWolf, the only bracelet winners left in the field.
Hoyt won a WPT event in 2010. His second, he raises to 212,000.
That's most of his remaining stack.
Baldassari then raises Hoyt all in. 127,000 more for Hoyt to call. And Corkins calls all in.
Well, once Hoyt re-raised pre-flop, he was committed. It's not the race he hoped for. Hoyt Corkins now behind, and his tournament is at risk. Baldassari, as usual, appears to be in distress.
All right, here's the flop. 10 deuce 4, nothing in there for Hoyt. Baldassari's still ahead. Turn card now. That pairs Hoyt, but he needs more help.
It's a little in, but I believe you're going to be good.
Corkins needs another queen or an ace to stick around.
The river card is the 5 of hearts. Hoyt Corkins knocked out of this World Series of Poker Europe main event.
Hoyt's 27th World Series cash.
15th place, worth over 42,000 pounds. Baldassari over $1 million now. 5 to go before we have our final table. The World Series of Poker Europe main event continues. Big Ben not too far in the distance. London filled with historical sites, including the Queen's home. Our Natalie Pinkham found out what the players know about this famous residence.
Here we are at Buckingham Palace, home of the Queen. Let's find out if the poker players know just as much about the home of the royal family as they do of the royal flush.
I don't know. I think it's Parliament, but I'm not sure. It might be where the Queen lives. I don't think. No, it's not where the Queen lives. Pretty sure.